Hello, welcome back to this channel, and on today's topic we are going to be talking about something really interesting and that actually not so many people know of, and that is jet streams. So if you've ever flown, like if you've ever taken a flight, especially long flights, especially flights which are like maybe 7-8 hours plus, you've probably noticed that going west, like westbound flights, always take much longer, or at least a few minutes or hours longer than when you go eastbound. And most of the people just think it's just because of the route or something. They don't really think there is a reason behind it, but actually there is, and it does really matter. So for you to know, all the flights going west, like on the direction of like westbound, they're always gonna take longer than those going eastbound. They're always shorter. But of course, it depends on the duration of the flight. You will feel it more or less. For example, in short flights, let's say 1 hour flight, you can also feel this difference. Maybe it's 5 minutes. But of course, in this kind of very short flights, there are other factors that influence, because maybe there is traffic at the airport or something, like ATC gives different, or there is different commands. So it does really depend. So it does not affect, like you as a passenger wouldn't feel the difference of these 5 minutes, because there are many factors which affect it. But when you take a longer flight, especially ultra long haul flights, you can really feel even like 2 hours difference in the flight. For example, let's say you take Doha to Chicago westbound, that's 15 hours. Then when you take Chicago to Doha, when you're going east, you take 13 hours. So it's 2 hours difference between one route and the other one. And it's funny because many passengers, like when we are explaining this, like maybe to some passenger, like, oh yeah, it's 2 hours difference. They ask you like, why? And most of the crew, they reply with, it's not, we are not taught about this. Like as cabin crew, we are not really taught about the explanation of this. So most of the crew will just simply reply, oh, because it's we are taking different routes, which is true. It's completely true. The route is not the same and it's different. So that's one of the big main reasons. But me, I know, because I studied geography at university. Like in my geography classes, we studied this, so I know about this. And yes, it's true that the route is different, but why? Like, what's the reason between one route being shorter and one route being longer? Because at the end of the day, think about it, the airline wants to save cost and fuel and everything. If it was for the airline, they would just simply take the shorter route. They would take only these 13 hours for both ways. Why are they taking this 15 hours for one of the ways? So it makes sense when you think about the jet streams. And that's what we are going to talk about in this video. So jet streams, so you get an idea, they are very, very, very strong currents of wind in high altitudes, at high altitudes. So for jet streams usually happen in the upper layer of the troposphere. So so you get an idea, basically airplanes fly between, usually like most commercial flights fly between 37,000 and 40,000 feet. That's like the average. And then these jet streams, they differ, like depends on which jet streams, they will be higher or lower, but usually it's going to be around 35,000 and 45,000 feet, something like that. So basically, planes are flying with jet streams, like it's exactly the same altitudes. And also these jet streams, they're also known as aerial superhighways, because it's a highway in which that air is going to help you go faster or slower. We're gonna get into more detail in this video. So jet streams, we've said it's very strong winds, currents in the high altitudes, so the same altitudes as airplanes fly. And we have 4 in the Earth. Actually, there is a 5th one in the equator, but we are gonna leave that one aside because it's very different and it works different as all the others, and it's more complicated to understand. But for this video, we are going to focus on the main 4, which we have 2 in the northern hemisphere and 2 in the southern hemisphere. So, and then this we can divide into two polar jet streams, which are closer to the poles, and two subtropical jet streams, which are closer to the equator. And these are different. Like, for example, polar jet streams are the strongest ones. They're very, very strong currents of wind, but the altitude, like the altitudes they reach, is not as high. Like, it's exactly airplane, like the altitude airplanes fly, but they don't go higher, let's say. But for example, with subtropical, they go really high. Like subtropical jet streams, they can go up to 52,000 feet. So it's really, really high, but they're not as powerful, as strong as the polar ones. So these these currents, you have to see them as a river. A river with a lot of meanders, because it's undulating. It's like it always goes from west to east of the earth. Like the direction of these four currents, it's always from west to east, and they follow the rotation of the earth. And they are like a river because they undulate. They're like this. But again, it's not like a perfect wave. They can break depending on the season of the year. They can also break if there is some specific meteorological condition in that area, and they fluctuate also. Like, for example, usually depending on the season, they will go lower in latitude or higher in latitude. So it really depends, but more or less, so you get an idea, you have to know that they're always going west to east, following the rotation of the earth, and they ondulate. So that's basically what jet streams are. So I'm checking my notes. Okay, so for example, let's say this makes a lot of sense in aviation, because for example, we said that airplanes fly in these altitudes. If you now, and we are imagining the jet streams as rivers. Now imagine in real life, you are kayaking, and you have a kayak and you want to kayak on a river. What does it feel easier? If you go against the current or if you go with the current? So of course this is the same. If you're kayaking against the current, you're probably gonna have to do much more effort. You're gonna waste much more energy. You're gonna get more tired, and probably will take much longer. And if you're following the same direction as the current, you're probably not even wasting that much energy, and you're gonna go super fast. So with airplanes, it's the same. If it's a super strong wind, as an airplane, as an airplane, the route that you want to follow, it's following the direction of the wind, because that way it's gonna save so much more fuel, and at the end of the day, it's much more money that the airline is saving. So if you're going against this jet stream, because they always go west to east, so whenever you go east to west, if you take those same jet streams, it's gonna take much, much longer. That's why airplanes, they always deviate. So let's say if you take the plane from west to east, from Chicago to Doha, they're gonna follow that jet stream. But the Northern Hemisphere polar jet stream. But if you go from, let's say, Doha to Chicago, you cannot follow that one, because if you follow that exact same route, the wind is gonna go against you. So it's gonna be a waste of time and a waste of money because of the fuel consumption. So they always change the route, and usually they go above. So usually when these ultra long haul flights from east to west, they also usually go above the polar route, and then they land. Because even if it's gonna take longer than the straight line, it's still gonna be shorter than going against this jet stream. I don't know if I'm explaining myself. And okay guys, so we have here a screenshot of flight radar. I just did it right now, and I'm going to show you with this screenshot. I think you can see more visually how the jet stream works. So jet stream would be somewhere around here, and as you can see, all the airplanes going in this direction, they go east. Like they go in this direction, east. But then if we, let me make it bigger. But then, for example, look at all of these planes. They are avoided. All of the avoiding the jet streams, all of the ones going west are avoiding the current. And then even here down, we can see some of the other ones which are going west, and they're avoiding as well the jet stream. So here I think you can see very what did I do? Yeah, these ones would be going east. You can see very clearly the difference between going east and west, and you see like how they're going to avoid these currents in order to go faster. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something new. I'll see you around. Thank you very much. See ya.